What is up, everybody? Today we are back with another reaction, and this is from Tirzu. It has been a long time since we've done a Tirzu video because he hasn't put anything out.
True.
But he has now, and today we're going to be watching our Giraffes OP. I hope you're excited, because I'm excited, because I love giraffes. They are my favorite animal, so I was just like, we gotta do this. If there's anything you want us to watch in the future, please put it down in the comments. Just think about it while you're watching this. And, yeah. Let's get right into it.
Get it. 10 minutes.
Finally. Oof. Oh. Ah.
Man got spiked.
That looked like it hurt.
Yeah?
The African server is full of extremes. You've got the most powerful builds in the game, including the largest terrestrial build in the entire game currently.
Hell yeah.
But while the African bush elephant may indeed be the largest, it isn't the tallest. That title goes to the subject of today's video, the giraffe.
That boy.
But is being the tallest build in the game actually that effective of a strategy? How does it play out in practice? And what abilities did the giraffe spec into in order to compound its innate advantages?
Our giraffe's born.
My man,
The
chilling.
giraffe's extreme height grants it several benefits. The first of these is how it completely changes the dynamics regarding the game's stealth mechanics. So, most top predators in the African savanna opt for the ambush strategy to get within striking range of their targets. They tend to rely on a combination of innate camouflage and use of natural cover to evade detection while closing most of the distance, breaking from cover only at the last possible second when they believe they can close the remaining distance before the target has a chance to react. This strategy is almost completely useless against the giraffe, because the stealth benefit from natural cover, things like tall grass and bushes, is entirely negated when viewed from a high vantage point. While staying low to the ground may obscure your character from the perspective of something like a gazelle or zebra, to a giraffe you are completely exposed and your approach was seen coming from quite a ways off. The second main benefit granted to the giraffe via its height is a bonus to its defense. Because the giraffe's hurt box is elevated significantly off the ground, it's extremely difficult for most players to land a hit on the giraffe's vitals. In fact, for literally every relevant threat in the African meta, landing a strike on the giraffe's weak point requires either a risky jump strike or an ambush from an elevated position, neither of which are very efficient strategies, with the jump strike in particular being easily punishable by any of the giraffe's many powerful counterattack options. Speaking of, let's take a look at what those are. The giraffe's reach not only keeps its own vitals out of attack range, but also makes it very easy for a giraffe main to land their own attacks. Similar to horses and zebras, the giraffe's main method of attacking is its kick, dealing moderate damage to any target that dares enter the giraffe's zone of control. However, when the giraffe really needs to deal some damage, it resorts to its signature move, the ossicone bash. The giraffe swings its neck in a wide arc, with the intent to connect with the horn-like protrusions on its skull, called ossicones. Connecting with this attack means pretty much instant game over for any player it hits, unless they have an extremely large health pool, such as another giraffe. However, it is a bit more risky to just throw this move out, considering that it puts your normally out-of-reach weak point in a potentially vulnerable position, and also deals a little recoil damage with each use as well. And if an attacking player does manage to dodge the first swing and get in close, using this move becomes much more difficult, since the close-range hitbox is a bit of a sour spot. But still, the mere threat of this move is enough to dissuade most attacks, to the point that most Predator players won't even bother with a high-level giraffe. Low-level giraffe mains are a lot more vulnerable, and this is where the efficacy of the giraffe's reach and height is really put to the test. Upon spawning in, the giraffe is pretty much hopeless. It doesn't have the height advantage on its opponents yet, but because of its slender, lanky shape, it has disadvantage on all saving throws to avoid being tackled or knocked prone. And so it's the job of the higher-level giraffe players to complete the long, arduous escort mission of protecting the newborn giraffe as it matures. Now, because the giraffe's attack range is so broad, it is able to guard a wide area and pressure a counterattack on any player that would dare target the newborn. However, because the giraffe does not possess any AoE attacks, defending against multiple opponents at once can be quite challenging, often necessitating that a newborn tank a few hits as the mother chases away one attacker at a time. Now, despite having not leveled up at all, the giraffe starts with a pretty generous amount of HP, but even so, it's not uncommon for the escort mission to fail. And with a respawn time of 15 months, this is certainly one of the most frustrating aspects of giraffe gameplay. Next, let's talk about individual matchups. First, we have the cheetah. Anyways, on a serious note, first
Stop.
we have the leopard. Now, the
Yeah.
leopard is one of the most interesting matchups because of its ability to climb and attack from a high vantage point. Leopard players have been known to use their ability to climb as part of their ambush strategy,
This is crazy.
pouncing on
I
their
love how he
target
did
from above.
that.
This could
Yeah.
mean it's the only predator in the game with an honest shot at landing a surprise crit against the giraffe. But in all honesty, this would be an insanely risky strategy. And since leopards hunt alone, there's really not much reason to try and take down such large prey, when they can survive just fine off of the standard diet of antelope and deer. Still, against a lower level giraffe, I
start
could see the
something, I'll
strategy
finish
working
it.
pretty well, if no allies were around to rescue it. But since
GG,
leopards
easy.
kill slowly by strangling their target with their bite, this gives the giraffe's party members a lot of time to react and respond accordingly. This is similar to
Ouch.
the issue lions have in their matchup against giraffes. Compared to some of the other potential threats, a lion can't actually deal that much damage
Oh my
on its
God,
own to a
you're
giraffe.
all on it.
Even against a low-level giraffe player, it's unlikely they could take it out in a single attack, leading to the same issue as a leopard, where the
Ouch.
giraffe's teammates would be able to rescue it. However,
mean,
because
it's not
lions
a-
do cooperate, together it is possible for a pride of lions to bring down even a large adult giraffe, but not without serious risk to the attackers. And since lions typically close in on their targets by staying low to the ground and moving slowly, the giraffe's height is perfectly suited to detecting their approach and escaping before they're in any real danger.
Dude, when they
So
run, they
lions
look like
taking
they're
down
running in
giraffes
slow
does
motion.
happen, but it's exceptionally
do,
rare. The rhino is an interesting matchup.
But they move
Obviously,
so
giraffes
far.
and rhinos have no real reason to attack each other, but due to the rhino's poor eyesight, it tends to perceive most players that come near it to be
To
threats
effing
regardless.
rhinos.
Lucky for the giraffe, the rhino's horn is not
Oh,
usually
poor
able to
rhino.
reach the giraffe's weak point, so as long as it can avoid
Don't
getting
hurt the
knocked
baby rhino
over,
giraffe.
giraffes tend to do just fine in this matchup. Despite the incredible range of a rhinoceros's
Oh my
horn,
God.
the giraffe's
Big.
kick can still outrange it, and although rhinos are quite tanky, a good kick to the face is usually enough to dissuade further attacks. An important matchup I want to discuss is the hyena.
Get outta
Now,
here.
because they can't really jump, hyenas don't have anywhere near the vertical threat range that lions or leopards do, so
That's so
attacking an adult
crazy.
giraffe is pretty much out of the question. However,
Yeah,
instead of
that's
this
so cool,
increased
bro.
agility, hyenas have a much more powerful bite. Rather than requiring a critical hit, a hyena can
He
crack
died.
bone with a single
You're
bite
dead.
anywhere on the
Yeah,
target,
stupid.
which can immediately disable their prey and make rescue attempts
Oh my
futile.
God.
This
Ow,
is particularly
ow, ow.
effective against
I didn't
players who
wanna see
rely on
that.
their teammates for protection, as even if an ally does step in to fight off the attackers, oftentimes it's simply too late and the damage has already been done. Eventually, the teammates will move on, and the hyenas will be able to close out the kill.
Teammate, that is your
Lastly, I don't think it's any
child.
real surprise to see that giraffes still have to respect the space of an elephant. Elephants are
Yeah.
tall enough to gore a giraffe with their powerful tusks, so if there's ever a territorial dispute between an elephant and a giraffe, the elephant always wins. Thankfully for a giraffe, its longer legs
my
granted a
God.
faster run speed.
God.
So,
Oh,
while
no.
elephants do pose a serious threat, this hardly ever actually results in direct damage. In fact, by and large, rather than competing with other herbivores for the best resources, the giraffe's unique access to treetops means that it actually makes a lot of sense for other herbivores to tolerate or even appreciate the presence of a giraffe. They aren't taking away any food that they would have accessed anyway, and could also serve as an early warning system if they see predators coming. So, while they're definitely not the
yeah.
most overpowered
Oops.
build, they're certainly
Oh,
out there,
Lord.
near untouchable for the vast majority of their
It's a child.
playthrough, and have fairly
Let go
reliable
of the
protection in the early
plant.
game. I'd put them in solid A tier. In fact, it's somewhat strange that other herbivore players haven't started speccing into similar height advantages to
dude.
gain the same survival perks as the giraffe. The giraffe is extremely unique in its role in the meta, which is weird because historically, the treetop grazer giant type build has been extremely successful. Giant long-necked rhinoceros reigned supreme during the Oligocene, and before that we saw this strategy absolutely dominate during the Mesozoic in the form of the sauropod dinosaur. So why only the giraffe in today's meta? There are a few theories on this, but that's beyond the scope of this video.
Oh.
In terms of strategy and playstyle, the closest thing we have today is probably the camel. But surprisingly,
Yo, the
giraffe is
camel!
not that closely related to camels. The giraffe only has two close relatives in the current meta. The first is the okapi, a strange build that functions
Oh.
as sort of a middle ground between
I'd
deer
never heard
and
of it.
giraffes. And the second is one that basically nobody would expect, the pronghorn, which is completely different than the giraffe in both stature and location. Both
thought
the
it was more
okapi
related
and
to, like, a
giraffe are
horse.
only playable on the Africa server, but to find the pronghorn, you need to travel all the way to the North America server. The pronghorn
Yeah, we
deserves
got
an entire
pronghorns.
video to itself since it's such a fascinating build with an extremely distinct strategy from
Pronghorn
everything else
sounds
on the
cool.
American server. And
look
guess
cool.
what? That
Interesting.
video, it already exists. You
What?
can watch it right now, a month before everyone else, by subscribing to Nebula, a streaming
Oh my
service
God.
owned
Yeah,
and
he's
operated
doing
by
this.
and for
Perfect.
creators like me.
Perfect
Nebula
angle.
has kindly sponsored. Special thanks to all of my
250.
Nebula and Patreon subscribers, and thank you for watching.
Ew.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. That was neat. I love that. I love giraffes so much.
Giraffes are
man.
scary.
They're awesome. What,
They're scary.
what do you mean, bro? At a zoo, they're the cutest things. They'll bend down, you pet
If
them.
I
You know?
see one running after me, I'm
Oh,
gonna die.
Yes, but that's done with any animal. I would
I'm
I'd
gonna
run
die.
from a giraffe charging
Don't
at
worry,
me.
they're running slow motion. They can't catch you.
They're running slow motion.
They can't catch
I thought, Brandon, you would just run towards it.
No,
Run after you.
it's a wild
and,
animal.
and hug it and be like, hey, shh, it's okay, I'll tame you.
You see what he did to those stupid 600-pound lions?
Oh my
I'm
god.
okay.
Yeah, my man bonked the
Okay.
super rhino in the head.
Oh, dude, knocked the other giraffe out with its horns, bro. I have to.
Yeah.
But I love him, bro. I've been loving him since I was
Giraffes are
younger.
cool.
Accidentally hit
so
the child.
guys, check out Nebula, bro. If you want to see more of his stuff, check it out.
Yeah.
Totally, man. $250 a month, bro. For all this good content, you know, I'm gonna say
Expensive.
that's pretty good. If you want to see us react to any more of the Tier Zoo videos, we might have some already that you want to see.
Yeah.
But if you look and we don't have the one you want, just put it down in the comments, as well as any other thing you want us to watch. We'll surely get to it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe. We've been Cranky Films. Stay cranky.